Thank you for coming back for another instalment for the Trail of the Green Man. We are going to take a look at the Shakespeare's epitaph at Trinity Church in Stratford. And there's been quite a lot of work done on this previously, but there's quite a lot that it's still not been discussed before, and there's a lot of connections between this actual monument and the Reader poem, and also the first page of the Tempest. There's a connection between these three, which I will go into at a later point. We will see these all combined in a video together, but just taking a look at this monument on its own is quite fruitful. So just taking a look at what the monument's got to say as well can be quite interesting. So I'm going to just take a look at this bottom passage here. There is a connection between the top and the bottom, but if we're just looking like, stay passenger, why goest thou by so fast? Read if thou canst. And there's a lot to be said about that, but just even the fact that the word passenger is used seems a bit strange. A passenger is something that I would connect with perhaps a passenger on a coach or a passenger on a ferry back in like the 1600s, so it's a bit of a strange occurrence to find that there. So this is not where things would be in the order in which they were found, so I've broken them down into an order to help kind of explain what we're going to see here. Now, I've highlighted a few letters in the red. Now, the qualities of the highlights is going to be quite bad. It's quite difficult to pick out the letter edges in that way on this program for this epitaph, so you'll see what I mean. So I've highlighted a few letters, and it's B-A-K-O-N for not bacon with the C, obviously, but they've used the letter K here. And I'm just going to place the seven-sided tomb. I'm sure you've probably seen a video where we discuss this tomb and how we go about placing a seven-sided heptagon. And what we can see, it takes in the letters, the B, the A, the K, the O, and the N, and we've got like a spare like corner here. So we've got B-A-K-O-N, which still phonetically is bacon. And the reason for the K is going to become apparent soon. So on the first corner, we can deal with, we can highlight, I've just highlighted it in a blue square here, the word go. And it's a bit of a contradiction with stay passenger, why goest thou by so fast? But underneath this here, reading backwards, we get the word S-N-A-G for snag. Now, snag in this context from the earliest meaning is something that you would come across in like a river, something that you would probably catch yourself on, or your boat or something would get caught on, it would get snagged on. And this is the earliest use of this, and perhaps it helps us understand why we might be seeing this word passenger, like stay passenger, and then underneath it we have a snag. So that's quite interesting. It doesn't mean anything yet, it's just finding something in the local vicinity that can explain the words that we can extract to see if we can find any meaning. And here, which is quite funny, it's within this monument, and within this we have H-I-N-T for hint. Now, this is actually part of a slightly different little chain on this page, but it's just giving you this idea that we can make one word up using more than one word. Like, this is hint being made from one letter or two letters from three different words. So it's just a hint as into how we're going to go about this. Like, nothing changes, the methods are always the same. So if I highlight this word Shakespeare, we would have bacon, B-A-K-O-N, but spelt with a K. So we have Shakespeare with whom, as in that they're together. So I think this goes a little bit to explain how they've used the word Shakespeare and used the word K to phonetically sound like a C in the word bacon to show that they're closely matched, or they're close together. It's Shakespeare with whom, and it's BAKON for bacon. And on the other side, with the A, we have ally, meaning a friend or somebody you would work together in something with the same purpose. And this might explain why we see Shakespeare and bacon together. But if you've seen some of the other videos, especially the Francis Bacon ones about the advancement of learning, you'll start to see a much wider story coming out, where basically Shakespeare was Francis Bacon's mission. This was his part of it, the fabrication of this character. But for now, we'll just concentrate on what we see coming out here in the page. And on the corner, the opposite corner, we have WED for wed or wedded, running backwards. Now, I don't think we could take this in the context that Shakespeare and Francis Bacon were married. I think it's talking about how there's a relationship between the two. They come together, basically. But this word wed is going to give us a little bit more understanding as more information comes out. But for now, it's just allowing us to understand that Bacon and Shakespeare, they're married together. They come as one, basically. And what I'm going to do is start to populate inside this seven-sided tomb, the information that it gives us here. Now, we see the word men, as in Bacon and Shakespeare, it gave us men. It gave us two people, allies, wed. I'm trying to really avoid this whole context of they could have been married, but I think it's given a different explanation for this word here. And this word wed or Jew does come out before. I think it's under Henry Neville on the website. It's used in the same kind of context that might help to explain what we see here. Now, what we see running backwards here, men, and then, sorry, the O's not highlighted for a reason that will come apparent. Noms. Now, noms is French for names. Now, we're using a different language here. But as you can see, we have got a different language at the top. They're using Latin and then a different language, English. And there's a hint to this, why we're using a different language. And I think it was first pointed out with Peter Amundsen. Perhaps somebody pointed it out to him. I'm really not too sure. And we'll get to that part just in a few moments. So they're talking about men and then noms, French for names, basically. And then to kind of like give this some concrete backup, we have this name here crossing over the seven-sided tomb on the opposite side. I'll just move on a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove some of the information just so things don't look as clustered. 1 second. Now, what I've done here is just remove some of the information so it's a little bit easier to see, because this word wed that we had in this corner is going to bring on some meaning, because we're going to be able to extract some names, some noms here, just using the letters in the vicinity. And they're so close together, it's as if they're wedded together. So let's have a little look here. Now, the first one, we have I here, O-N, for John. And then we have D beside it, or on the opposite side we have D-E for John D, or Johannes D, who we've seen. If you want to take a look at the website, you'll find more information on this character and how in Cecil's publication he actually mentions John D as being the father RC of the movement. Of course, you can go and have a look there. It'll all be there under the bio part of the website. So we've got I, which is J, O, and N for John, D. And then we also have N-E-V-I-L for the word Neville. So we've got this close relationship here between these kind of two names. Now, what we can do here, we also see we've got this word who, and we also have it again here, as always a statement of who, the names, who are the people, where are these names we're looking for. Now, we can also highlight this here. So this is H-E-N-R-E, Henry, N-E-V-I-L, Neville, backwards. So it's just phonetically H-E-N for hen, and then the R-E for Henry, to give us Henry Neville and John Dee, and we have Shakespeare and Francis Bacon, just in this small little area. Now, what else we can highlight is, at this crossing here, we have G-E-R, and then we have M-A-N for man. So we have man when we add the two of them together for German. And this is something that was pointed out here, because here we have an expression, heißt so, and this is running backwards, and heißt so, I've just got, let's see here, like it's kind of like an expression, and we've got some examples of it here, with heißt so being it is so called, or call him that, was so, or is called, is to say as, or he's called. So it's something to do with naming something or highlighting something. And what's interesting is this heißt here, it's a very sharp kind of letter S, and heißt so is spelt using, and I'll show you here, one of these B. It's one of the Latin well, it's not in the standard Latin alphabet, but in German it's called the is it, and it's basically like a very sharp S, and as you can see, it looks like a B. And when we come back and take a look, under heißt so, we have the word, let me see if I have this here, art, B. Just as a little clarification that this German, this heißt so, here are, or look these people, look these names. And if we have a little closer look, what we can actually do here with these letters here, we could actually make De Vere just with taking these letters again, but it's very crowded and the letters are wed together. Now, De Vere, you'd need to have a look at the bio section for Edward de Vere and some information on him, and possibly under the sonnets you could get to see some very great information there. Now, what that leaves inside this heptagon is one word basically. So what I'll do, I'll turn everything on and you can kind of see how we're only left with this solitary kind of single word. Why? If you'd like to know why, come along and join us at the Trail of the Green Man. We'd love any help that you could give. If you're good at these puzzles, or you think you know what's coming next, come along, let us know, help us out. It would be greatly appreciated. See you there. Thanks for joining us.